I Spy is Michaela Murphy's humorous coming-of-age essay about spending her summers with her family on the beach in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. My parents got married at St. Mary's Church in Newport, Rhode Island, and the exact same church as Jack and Jackie Kennedy. My father gave my mother jewelry, exact replications of the jewelry that Jack gave to Jackie. And every summer during the 70s, my 4 aunts would take me and my 2 cousins on their dream vacation, a week in Hyannisport on the beach that shared property with the Kennedy compound. Every day for a week, my Aunt Pat would roll up her sister's hair and my aunts would apply sunscreen to the backs of their necks, the tops of their hands, and the tops of their feet. They would drag their beach chairs down to the beach and they would set them up perfectly, not facing the water, not into the sun for tanning, but perfectly for spying on the Kennedys. Every day for an entire week, my aunts would sit there with high-powered binoculars and they would keep constant surveillance. And every year they would have the exact same conversations. Usually the first sighting was made around 10 o'clock. "Oh, they got Rose out, walking. Ethel looks drawn." Then my Aunt Gert would say, "Oh, how old is Rose anyway?" Then my Aunt Momo would make the calculations. "Well, let's see. Jack died in 63, then Joe died in 79, making her a widow at 81, and her birthday was 2 weeks last Thursday, so she's 85. And then we'd break for lunch. After lobster and hosing all the kids down, they'd hustle back to their posts. Every now and then, they'd spot someone they didn't know. "Who's that one? Who's that one?" So they'd draw out the family tree in the sand. They'd analyze it, they'd come up with a profile, and crack the code. It's one of Bobby's. All of this meant that no one was paying any attention to us in the water. Now had an aunt, perhaps in an effort to relieve a cramp in her prying neck, glanced over towards the water's edge, she might have seen us find this tiny plastic half-inflated raft. She might have cried out in alarm at the lack of oars or life preservers. She might have had a conniption fit to watch the 3 of us climb inside this thing, shove off, and drift into the violent riptide that would sweep us within 5 minutes out to the open sea and Nantucket-bound ferry. But an aunt didn't, and we did. It all happened so fast that it wasn't until we realized that we were able to make out the specific features of the ferry passengers that we were really far from shore. We were so far out from shore that my 4 aunts had been reduced to these 4 hopping dots. We all just looked at each other, and right then this gigantic Atlantic swell crashed over our heads and sank this raft. When the water cleared, out of nowhere appears this powerboat, and inside of the powerboat are David and Michael Kennedy. So David and Michael pull us up out of the water and into the boat, and my cousins and I are like, "Oh my God, we are saved by a powerboat!" And we head back to the shore. We're all psyched because we're saved. We're not going to drown. Until we see the 4 hopping dots morph back into my 4 crazed, livid aunts. Now, my family, just like any family, has these things that they individually do when it comes to punishment. Like my Aunt Gert would get so mad at us that she would just grit her teeth and yell out our names and addresses. She'd yell, "Eileen and Kevin, 275 Cooper Street, Michaela Murphy, 180 Asylum Road." I swear, I grew up on Asylum Road. And then my Aunt Pat would say these things that, if you actually thought about it, were kind of nice things. But the way she would say them would be like total death threats. She'd say, "Yeah, I'll take you away for a week on the Cape. You get on that beach and you play. Now. Yeah, I'll save you from drowning. You get in that boat and dry off. Now." This is what we're heading back to. David and Michael have no idea. So we pull up to the shore, and there they are. My aunts are crazed. They're out of their minds, they're so angry. But when they see us in the same boat as the Kennedys, it's like they don't have the emotional capacity to handle it. They kind of snap. On the one hand, they're ready to kill us, and on the other hand, they're acting all nice and trying to be all normal. They're smiling. My Aunt Maureen takes on this Kennedy-esque quality of speaking, which is somewhere between the Queen of England and Katharine Hepburn. She's like, "Oh, David. Oh, Michael." They look at us and they're like, "You just wait." They're acting so strange, and we're like, "What's going on here?" So David and Michael finally pry themselves away from the aunts, and my Aunt Maureen is like, "Please, remember us to your grandmother." And now it's time for our real punishment. We have to stay on the beach for the rest of the vacation because we didn't have any respect for the water.
Yeah, I'll take you away for a week on the Cape. You go on that beach and you play now. Yeah, I'll save you from drowning. You get on that boat and dry off now.